My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Shark Tale, and this review will have spoilers, so there's your warning. But I watched this movie a lot as a kid. I'm very nostalgic for it, but I also haven't watched it since then. It's been at least 16, 17 years since I last watched this movie, and just rewatching it was like a trip down memory lane. And I also finally realized just how terrible this movie is. It's shit. Man, this is one of the worst DreamWorks animation movies ever. It is so bad. So bad. But, anyways, let's begin talking about the cast. And Will Smith gives the worst performance of his career in this movie. I'll talk more about the character in depth later on, but I found his performance to be obnoxious, to be insufferable, and I just hated everything about this character. Renee Zellweger is actually a good person in this movie, and I thought she did a perfectly fine job. But the romance for me did not work at all because the entire time I kept thinking to myself, she can do better. Like, I don't find the ending to this movie to be a happy ending. And, yeah, so that didn't work for me. Robert De Niro gives a very flat, forgettable performance. His character doesn't stand out in any way. Jack Black. In a couple weeks, I'll be talking very positively about him in another DreamWorks movie. But here, this is probably his worst performance. He's terrible in this movie. I didn't find him funny. I didn't find him entertaining. I just found him to be cringy and annoying, and I couldn't stand him. Martin Scorsese, that's right, he's one of the main characters in this movie. I thought he was very flat and uninteresting. Angelina Jolie, I thought had nothing to work with. I get that her character is superficial and that's the point, but you could have done a bit more with her. Ziggy Marley and Doug E. Doug, I thought were the two standouts. They are actually by far the best characters in this movie. And Michael Impoli and Vincent Pastor, I thought, did a perfectly fine job. So, like, there's a few performances I like, but for the most part, I thought most of them did a bad job. And the two main characters, Oscar and Lenny, were the two worst characters of the bunch, and that's not a good thing. I do think this movie has some funny moments. The best scene is early on, where it focuses on a sushi shop and it's just empty and the guy walking is pissed off. Like, that's a really funny gag. There's someone wearing a shirt that instead of the ring, it's the hook, and I'm like, okay, that's clever. There was one scene where Oscar's like, are you not entertained? And then he's like, you had me at hello, and he just starts shouting random movie quotes. Yeah, that's every decent joke in the movie. The rest of them fall completely flat, and I didn't laugh. And not only did I not laugh, but I was actively annoyed at so many of them. The world building is actually a highlight of the movie. The whale wash I like, the seahorse race, the shark gangsters. There are some nice ideas there. I just wish they were in a better movie. And the soundtrack, I guess, is pretty fine. We've got Got to Be Real by Cheryl Lynn. The Four Tops has a song. Yeah, there's a few good songs here, so I'll give the movie that. But let's just cut to the issue of this movie, and it's the fact that I despise the main character. He is such a terrible piece of shit, and it's okay to have flawed protagonists. I love the Shrek movies, and Shrek is very flawed. But there's still something endearing about him. There's still that hope that he can become a better person in each movie. And here, Oscar's better fitted to be a villain than anything else because there's nothing endearing about him. I found him to be insufferable. I thought Lenny was way too over the top and annoying, and these two together just, nope. The story is complete garbage. Oscar lying to everyone about being a shark slayer just felt so phony. I don't believe for a second that anybody would believe him, and I get it, with a movie like this, you have to suspend some disbelief. But when you're annoyed the entire time and you hate the characters, sometimes you just can't give the movie that favor. Like Madagascar 3, I'll be talking about in a few weeks, and that entire story is the Lawyers Revealed one, but it actually kind of works for me because I like those characters and I understand why they did it. While here, it's just Oscar is shallow, he sucks, and you're supposed to root for him, except you don't because you hate him and it'd be great if he was eaten by a shark. It's just a cringy, embarrassing, loud, annoying movie, and it just makes for an unpleasant watch. And just when you're watching it, it just feels so desperately like they're trying to recapture that magic that Shrek has, and you can just tell they don't understand why that movie is as loved as it is. Also, the animation in this movie is really bad. Like, the environments are fine, but the character designs are really off-putting. Like, if you just occasionally look at the movie, it's not too bad, but if you're watching the movie and looking and focusing on their faces, it's not right. It's just not right. Anyways, Shark Tale. Is it good? No, it's terrible. I hate it. I think there is some good elements here. I do. The world building, some of the characters, but the story and the main characters I just could not stand. I found this movie to be a very difficult watch, and yeah, I just did not like it at all. So yeah, first time watching it in like 16, 17 years, and probably the last time I'll ever watch this movie, so Shark Tale gets a 3 out of 10. Sometimes it sucks to revisit movies from your childhood, but anyways, Shark Tale, have you seen it? What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more videos soon, and Gavin out.